This is music, and this is a Savage First Impressions video. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos I share with you my first impressions of the many blind buys I've picked up lately. I have a handful of CDs this time. So up first, Rush, Roll the Bones. I thought I had heard this one in its entirety before, but now I'm not so sure. I tend to divide Rush's discography into three parts. So first you have the progressive rock, challenging, a little bit self-indulgent part, and then the second part is the keyboard heavy part, and then the third part is the alternative classic rock / hard rock part, where they still have a little bit of those odd time signatures and stuff, but it's less self-indulgent and all that stuff. And this here belongs to the third part of their discography. I'm more interested in the progressive rock part and also in the keyboard part. This is, it's classic rock with some alternative rock elements, and I would say it's hard rock. Very accessible, and it's quite catchy songs. It's not the most interesting Rush album, I have to say, but it's solid. I quite like the title track, actually. Also the rap part. So yeah, not bad, but not the most interesting Rush album. Then we have this one here, Saracen. This is it's heavy metal. Kind of straight up heavy metal, but a modern take on it. So you do have just, old school heavy metal riffs. You have, guitar harmonies and all that good stuff. But then what's interesting is that there's kind of a layer of Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, that style of grunge. And that's, I think maybe it's just in the vocals, I'm not sure. I just get like that kind of vibe, and it does add kind of an interesting character to the music. It's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's pretty solid and a good listen, and definitely worth checking out if you come across a cheap copy of it, like I did. Up next, Winter of Probation by Savage Choir. Progressive technical thrash metal with very high register vocals. So think Realm and Watchtower. It's actually in that vein, less technical than Watchtower. The progressive part here lies more in the compositions than in the technicality, but it's thrash metal, power thrash maybe, kind of melodic, kind of aggressive, kind of weird in places. Very, very high register vocals. It will be a challenging listen to some people, but if you like your Watchtower, your Realm, and that sort of stuff, do check out Savage Choir Winter of Probation. It's actually a Divebomb release, but it didn't come with the Divebomb hype sticker, and it's a compilation of 2 demo tapes. So that's also quite interesting. It's basically underground music. Divebomb do a great job of finding like a weird underground releases and then compiling them and releasing them on CD, and that's awesome. Now, Shattered, and it's called Covered in Plastic. In most places, this band is classified in this album too as melodic death metal. To me, I don't really consider it melodic death metal. It has the screechy Melodeath vocals for sure, but to me it's more like modern thrash metal. It's very good though. I quite enjoy it. It doesn't have that inspiration from the new wave of British heavy metal that you hear in a lot of kind of shall we say pioneering melodic death metal. This is a bit more like maybe Slaughter of the Souls, but with those elements scraped away. So yeah, to me it sounds like it's thrash metal with screechy melodic vocals. In any case, I think it's very good. It's aggressive. The musicianship is great. The production is great too. So yeah, quite enjoyable. Do check out Shattered if you like melodeath, or if you like death thrash, or if you just like very aggressive thrash metal. You do have some clean singing on here too every now and then, but for the most part it is screechy vocals. Back to the world of Divebomb records. Here you have Silence, and it's called Vision. This one does, as you can see, have the hype sticker. The hype sticker says cult classic US thrash metal for fans of Exhorder, Sadus, Stygian, and Dark Angel. And that's not a bad comparison. We're dealing with super solid thrash metal, very aggressive, you know, in the maybe in the vein of earlier Exodus, maybe Fabulous Disaster, Impact is Imminent, Exodus. Certainly the guitar tone is a bit along those lines, combined with Testament. So that sort of thrash metal, but then you have some really cool breakdowns, and that's, I think, where the Exhorder comparison comes in. So some really cool, really groovy, really mosh friendly breakdowns, and we're not talking metalcore style breakdowns, we're talking, you know, thrash metal style breakdowns. So this is great. This is a fantastic thrash metal gem, definitely worth checking out if you like your thrash metal. I really like the sort of combination of kind of Bay Area thrash and then really groovy, bouncy, mushy breakdowns. And like I said, it's not your metalcore style breakdown. This is great stuff. I like the vocals too. The vocals are a little bit reminiscent of Jakob Hansen from Invocator. They sound kind of like somewhere in between Jakob Hansen from Excursion Demise and Weave the Apocalypse. So as if Invocator, if they were to make an album in between those albums, the vocals remind me a little bit of what the vocals in that album might sound like. But yeah, this is a fantastic thrash metal release. Do check it out if you like thrash metal. Up last, Speed, because it has 3 E's in it, and it's called Power Trip Pigs. This one is also very groovy, but this is more like modern heavy metal, with like southern rock, post Pantera kind of inspired groovy parts. Quite heavy guitar tone, quite heavy in places actually. Very good vocals too, quite enjoyable. It has Jack Frost on guitars. The only kind of gripe I have with it is the very opening of what DYA want. That's probably the lamest opening I've ever heard on an album. It's a sound bite, and then it's followed by some weird techno stuff, and I had to actually skip forward a couple of songs to just be sure, oh no, did I buy a kind of techno album? But no, it isn't a techno album. It does kick into a quite heavy, groovy part, and it's actually a pretty good song, the first track, once you get past the very lame intro. But apart from that, this is great stuff. Heavy, groovy, modern heavy metal, with some very good guitar work, a very heavy guitar tone too, kind of a silly band name. The songs are pretty good as well, so this one is worth checking out too. So there you go, a handful of CDs, all of which I really enjoyed, of course to varying degrees, but I really enjoyed all of them at the end of the day. If they sound interesting to you, go and check them out and see if you like them. Thanks for watching.